Hello, welcome back. What a fun break we just had. Oh my goodness, the craziness that happens behind the scenes here at Close to My Heart. You guys would just be surprised. It's too cold, it's too hot. Do you say macaron or macaron? Or I don't know. We're just trying to do our very best here. So sorry if we are not saying things all the way correctly. You guys know what we're trying to say. So hopefully you had an incredible, I know you did, you had an incredible experience learning from both our very in-house experts, Karen and Jill. They did an incredible job teaching watercoloring, mixing paint. I think so many of you are now ready to try the watercolors. Don't be afraid. We have some really great tips here and we will continue to learn learn even more tomorrow. Well, this is very exciting because now we get to hear from our experts out in the field, our very own successful makers. I hope you're so excited. Let's check in really quickly. I didn't give you guys a warning, but I'm going to check in with our Zoom audience because you guys have been awesome, just hanging out here all day long. Hi. Look at this. Look at all these people on. Hi, Amy, Marcia. Oh my goodness. Okay, Laura, we have been cracking up because she has us in the background. We're like, we need to take a selfie with you, with us in the background. That's so funny. Hi, Deborah. Oh my goodness. Look at you guys. Bluey's back. Yay. Hi, Jackie. Oh my goodness, Teresa, it's been so long. Oh, look at you, a beautiful smile. We are so happy to have our Zoom audience here, and they literally are just hanging out here with us. We see them working and dancing and doing all the fun things. So thank you so much for being with us. Hi, Harry, is that you? Look at how big you are. Oh my goodness, so fun. We miss being with all of you. Well, we are excited to welcome Brenda Rose. She is our presidential founder, and she is going to be teaching us about hybrid events. How exciting is that? Now that some of us are able to do more in-person events, but yet we've had a new reach with people virtually, how do you make that work? Well, to hear from someone who's out there working it in a very big way, we are so excited to welcome Brenda Rose, presidential founder from Minnesota.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brenda Rose, and I'm a presidential founder from East Bethel, Minnesota. I've been with Close to My Heart a total of 15 years, and I have always been a full-time maker. I wanted to make this my job, and I love what I do every single day. As you may know, I started teaching virtual classes back in 2018. I've spoken several times in the past about how to expand your business with virtual events. Here's the thing. I was teaching virtual and I was teaching in person, but I never combined the two. What I want to talk to you about today is bringing that virtual aspect into the classroom to create something new called a hybrid event. You might be thinking everything is going just fine doing virtual. Why change now? Well, and I want you to write this down. We have so many possibilities and so much more room for growth when we try new things. Let me repeat that because I want you to remember this as I'm sharing this idea. We have so many possibilities and so much room for growth when we try new things. Hybrid events are nothing to fear, just like a virtual event. It's a lot easier than you might think. Despite what you might believe, they don't require a lot of technology, and it doesn't take years of experience and expertise. You can start this no matter where you're at in your business. We use Facebook every single day, and that's all the expertise you need. This is a new concept, but I want you to look at it rather simply. I can already hear several of you overthinking this and asking what ifs, and I want you to stop and just breathe for a minute and look at this as a simple concept. You take your live event, your in-person event, you fill it with customers, you have a class, and then you add that virtual component. This way, no matter where your customer is, they can participate and engage in that class. Change is good for your business, and change means growth. We have had to restructure our businesses in a big way in the last 16 months or so. Company sales have proven that we did a great job choosing what was right for us and our customers during the pandemic. So I want you to applaud yourself. Stop right now and give yourself a hand because you did great. Now I'm asking you to think about the possibility of change again. We have all these people that are used to virtual classes and they have grown to love our product and personal service. That's what sets us apart from this store. So today, I want to talk to you about how we bring our local customers back into the classroom while still engaging our long distance customers. Well, there's that word again that I've used, engage. Engagement is the essential ingredient in a hybrid class. Engagement is what separates you from a pre-recorded video. It's important to remember that a hybrid event is not a shareable video that you post after the in-person class or a video where you've created something and then you post it. It's not filming your customers while they're here for your online people to watch. It's bringing two teaching events together so that people that are with you and those that are watching can communicate with each other. That's engagement. Believe it or not, you drive that communication by the things you say in your in-person class and how you respond to the online questions. No matter what company you're looking at, the trend has certainly become virtual because it had to be that way. We couldn't go anywhere. I want you to think in terms of leading the way by combining the two efforts, in person and virtual, because hybrid events are set to be the next trend, and we want to be the ones to start. We have to take that step or people will drop away. Have you noticed it already in your virtual classes? I sure have, because people are getting out now and trying to create and find that new normal again. We need to keep them interested as they're going out and making memories. However, we can't forget those long distance customers that we've gained over this time. And that's where hybrid classes come into play. Innovation is key in business. And if you're doing something new and different, people will flock to you. It's just going to happen naturally. Hybrid classes allow you to increase your reach and gain more attendance. You are, in effect, making it easier for everyone, absolutely everyone, no matter where they are, to attend. In a recent survey I did with my local customers, I learned what I had already started to notice. I have customers that will not watch a video. No matter what I promise to do, they are not going to watch that video because they're tired of it or they just don't learn well from video. These are my people, however, that always come to an in-person event. So you see, all customers are your audience for a hybrid event. Change is nothing to fear. I'm going to go right back to what I started talking about in the beginning. We can't grow if we don't step out of the comfort zone that we're in right now and expand our business. So let's roll up our sleeves and get to the nitty gritty. How do we carry out a hybrid event? What does it look like? First of all, I want to tell you that organization is imperative when you're hosting a hybrid event. And I'm going to go over some of those things for you. I am by nature a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl, and I don't always think things through the first time that I do them. I didn't anticipate the amount of questions that I would have during the event. I didn't realize how closely I'd have to watch questions on screen as well as answer the people that are in person. So I left my customers feeling a little frustrated on both ends, I think. So this is what I learned for my next hybrid class. When posting a class description, make sure you let people know what they can expect. That means you'll need to explain the format of a hybrid event. Don't make it so complicated that they don't want to attend. Simply let them know that you're going to be teaching people in person, but they're going to be watching you on camera. It's that simple. Now, it would have been wise for me to do that during my first event. Registration is a part of this as well. How will you have people register? There are a couple free and easy ways to do this. You could ask people for their confirmation in your Facebook group or on your Facebook page. One of my favorite ways to do this is in my MailChimp newsletter. MailChimp is free, and you can set up a button that will allow people to email you. You can even have it say when they click on the button, I'll be attending your class. It's easy for my customers. Make sure you have your class organized on the side within reach and that you have all the supplies you need. You will be creating your class on camera while you are teaching people in class. Here's a side note for you. When I have a hybrid class, I recreate the pages or the cards that I've already designed. I always use my CTMH cash to buy those extra supplies or kit. I simply use those extra pages for my sister's books, or I will sell them at our team Operation Smile Crop in the fall and donate all of the money to Operation Smile. If you'd like, though, you can choose to just teach the techniques in your class. You can also go through the process of putting the layout together while it's already together. It's up to you what you do. That's all your choice. Another part of organization is payment. I collect my payments for classes on the same day every month. On the 10th of every month, everyone gets an invoice no matter what they're attending, and that makes it really easy for me. I also have a website where people can click and pay. I just share the link and they just click on it, pay for it, and it's done. That way I don't have to worry about payment when I am having the class, and I don't have to be thinking about that. I'd rather take the time to answer my customers' questions. So what about that little bit of technology that you need to teach this class? I have a mount for my phone to record. You can buy those anywhere from $10 to $100. It's all up to you as far as what you want to get. I have an iPad or a laptop to watch for comments. I guarantee, though, that class members that are in person are going to let you know if there's an online question. They're watching it just as much as I am. I also have a smart TV in my craft room so that I can put myself on the large screen while I'm teaching so that my in-person customers can get a better look at what I'm doing or see more clearly. And then the final component of this, do what you do best. Teach and share close to my heart. I want to encourage you by saying that the first one or two times can be a little bit bumpy. This may not seem like encouragement, right? But what I'm trying to say is that we all have a first time. Don't be afraid of that first time. We learn, and if we don't give up, if we just keep trying, We are well on our way to bringing something new and innovative to our customers. Having a hybrid class adds value to what you are teaching because you are teaching it in two places at once. Secondly, the class is recorded so everyone can watch it again. But how do you make sure that customers come to the in-person class or watch live? Well, you've got to create FOMO. That fear of missing out is a driving force to attendance. The face-to-face part that you're doing can't seem redundant to the people that are watching it at home. You've got to engage your customers both online and in person so that the class itself is a reason to be there. If you notice something in your in-person class that people are doing differently, ask if you could show it on the screen. I love when my customers inspire each other at classes by doing something different than what I've already done. They are creating relationships when that happens, and you're going to see a lot more engagement in your face to my heart, face to my heart, in your Facebook close to my heart groups. You could also have small giveaways, but only those that are in attendance are eligible for the drawing. Let me tell you a little story. When my class members receive a kit from me, they have until the 15th of the following month to complete their kit. The pages have to be finished with journaling and photos, and the cards have to be completely done, every single one that I've designed for the class. If they do that, they receive a free Close to My Heart tape runner in the mail from me. I make this a really big deal. It's a separate mailing, and the tape runners always have a pretty tag on it. People then share the photo of their tape runners sitting on their envelopes or of their tags hanging on their bulletin boards where they keep all those accomplishments. As time goes on, you wouldn't believe how many people work hard to get their kits done. With something like that, I've added even more value to the class. Finished pages, which are a huge deal, and a tape runner. If people use their supplies, they'll continue to buy more. So having an incentive like a giveaway or a challenge to complete something is a good thing, and it's an added benefit for you so that people get to know our product, use it, and want more. Something that's happened for me is now when people are buying kits, they'll tell me, add 2 tape runners to my kit, add 5 tape runners. I have one customer that adds 10 every month and one that adds 15 every month. That is really huge for sales. Think about those numbers in your head. So incentives like giveaways or challenges are a really good thing. And if you target them only to the people that are in class, it's going to make a big difference. I'm going to go back to engagement as I end my time with you and give you a few tips. Content is so important in a hybrid event. We're teaching one event with 2 different experiences, and we want to make sure everyone feels engaged. Ask questions, and most importantly, keep your class on task. Don't let conversation and talking interrupt how quickly you want to get it done. Doesn't mean you have to go really fast through it, but I can tell you from my customer experience, if my classes start lasting over 2 hours, I've lost them. So you want to think about the amount of time that you spend in class talking, and then make sure you have a shortened length to your class. If that all sounds like too much for you to answer questions online and also teach, online and meet your customers' needs in person. Enlist some help. We have downlines, we have sidelines. Ask if they'd like to help watching online comments and pay them with a free class kit. Our team Operation Smile will be hybrid this year, meaning that I will have some people working at the hotel, some people working at home, and I plan to ask my rose blossoms to help me with that. By doing this, virtual attendees will stay engaged and feel a part of everything that's going on. If you are teaching a longer class that might go longer than that 2 hours, don't be afraid to take a break. Chances are, if you need a break, everyone does. Sometimes it's nice to break up your video anyway for those who might be going back, because then they can watch video 1 or video 3, whatever you've got going on. Finally, I want to say it's okay to be afraid when you do this the first time. Just keep in mind that you're about to do something really great, something innovative, and you're being really, really brave in doing it. I believe in all of you. I believe that you can do this. Close to my heart believes in you, or they wouldn't have asked me to teach this class. So go out there and try something new. Step out of your comfort zone. And I bet that you are going to see fantastic results. Thanks so much for tuning in today. And know that this is a pre-recorded class, so I'm watching right along with you and will answer any questions you have. Have a wonderful convention. Talk to you later.
Such incredible, wise, and sound advice from our presidential founder, Brenda Rose. Thank you so much, Brenda. And it's so true. Look at what we've been able to accomplish. Like I said in our opening segment yesterday, that none of us are experts in any of this technology, and we just thought, let's just go for it, because we wanted to stay connected, and literally started all of our Facebook Lives with iPhones. And so it is a little bit of just trying things out and learning as you go. And I think especially right now, people are so forgiving as long as we can stay connected. Excuse me. I also wanted to give you an update on how we're doing on our Operation Smile auction. So far, we are nearly at $15,000 worth of bids in our auction. So if you haven't gone in to click bid yet, please do so. Set up an account, get in there and see the incredible art. You can also go back and watch the videos that we have already posted up on this page. I believe it's called Operation Smile. So it's under announcements, and you can see all of that artwork again through the videos. Now, we will have the auction open until tomorrow at 3 p.m. Mountain Time, so our time. So you want to make sure to check those out, and remember, this is all for Operation Smile. It is to help these children all over the world who need our help. Only $240 US can pay for one surgery. So help us to do all we can to raise money for Operation Smile. Okay, next up we have another incredibly talented maker. I have known Kathy AZ, is what we call her, Kathy Ardima-Zunk, for so many years. We've traveled all over together. We've watched our children grow up, and it's incredible to see her do her business, take a step back, and then turn her business back on. So we're going to be talking to Kathy and listening to Kathy on how to find new customers.
Hello. Seek, find, and serve. Take 21. Hi everyone, I am Kathy Ardima-Zunk. I'm a maker with close to my heart and have been for 22 years. Today we are going to talk about seeking and finding and serving our customers. So let's first pretend we're in a grocery store and we are trying to find water chestnuts. I know it's backwards, just work with me. Where do you find water chestnuts? Are they with the olives? Are they with the green chilies? Are they with canned goods? Are they with the international foods? Chinese foods? Well, they're in chop suey and it's a soup, so maybe they're in the soup aisle. But if you're in your normal grocery store, you might know where to find them. But if you're on vacation, you have to think and you have to act a little differently to find those water chestnuts. So let's think about our customers in that way. Sometimes we have to think in different ways, or we have to look in different locations. But when we do find them, the water chestnuts, oftentimes we think, why didn't I think of that? Or that is the craziest place to find them. So one other thing, remember that hide and seek game we played when we were children? Those that hid the best were the ones that won. And that is oftentimes because they thought differently than others and found a place to hide that nobody else thought to look in or for. So let's look in unfamiliar places and let's think differently. So one quick reference is I'd like to show you this book, and once again, I know it's backwards, but it is called Mindset, and it is the New Psychology of Success book. I heard about this on NPR years and years and years ago. It's by Carol Dweck. She's a PhD, and it talks about how we can learn to fulfill our potential, and it's in business and parenting and life and in relationships. So I did get a lot of information over the years from this book. It's one of my go-tos, and I'm not a huge reader, but it is one book that I do recommend. So first, as we dive into this class, we want to be the maker, and we also want to be the employee that we would hire. Second, we want our mindset to be to seek and to serve. And we want to be proactive in finding our customers. We don't want to fall in the rut of thinking that they're going to find us. We need to find them. Thirdly, is we want to show up. Always show up. And when we show up, we want to bring something to the craft table for everyone to play and enjoy. And fourth, the last point before we dive in, we would be remiss if we left off the key point of serving our customers and keeping them once we found them. Very, very key and important. So a slight little background. 22 years ago, I was working in a hospital. I am a registered nurse, and I found my customers through my coworkers. And that snowballed into home parties, which is what we did then. And then that changed into different small groups. And then that changed into clubs. And then that changed into crops at my house. And then that changed into crops and larger events. And then that changed into vendoring events. And it all just evolves and changes. And it always will. Now with COVID, it's changing again. So with seeking customers, I'm going to give a long list of different places to find them, that I have found them and others have found them, and how it all can change and evolve for you. But seek and serve. So one is craft shows and craft fairs. They're very different beings, but definitely know your audience when you attend. Who is attending and what are they looking for? Another one is PTA fundraisers. This is something I have done in the past, and it can serve a great resource for finding customers, but you need to know what the fundraiser, how it's run, and how it is organized. The next one is carnival nights. Carnival nights can be for schools, they can be for associations, they can be for churches, they can be for lots and lots of different groups. But it is a great opportunity to bring yourself, bring our wonderful creative projects, and to find customers. Another one is gift baskets and silent auctions, but I'm going to talk about gift baskets first. Don't just donate stuff into a gift basket. Contribute with a reason. So a reason for them to reach back out to you. So possibly put material in it for a class, but leave out maybe the embellishments or the bling. Refer them to an online class that you teach it so that they would need to reach out for you for the rest of the stuff for the class. Find something so that it's not a dead end, essentially. So with silent auctions, same concept. Put something in for a silent auction that doesn't run into a dead end. One particular year, I did a silent auction and offered a birthday party for 10 for young girls. And I left it that it would be age appropriate, whether it was 5 years old, 10, 11, 12 years old. And when I did the actual event, I made sure that every single young girl that was at the birthday party created their crafts. They went home with a catalog and they went home with registration information for my kids' craft club, which I was running monthly at the time. So you see how this goes so that it's not a dead end. The next one is after school enrichment programs or after school enrichment classes. A lot of times this is elementary school age. There's a fall and a spring. There are different classes that the children can sign up for. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's dance, sometimes it's magic, sometimes it's crafts. But there's a large assortment that the kids can sign up for. And I did the craft enrichment class for the fall and the spring, year after year after year, and then use the opportunity to send the parents home with goodies, catalogs, ideas, information on how they could find adult craft activities. So then library educational spotlights. So this is when the library is trying to bring in different ideas. You get to use one of their conference rooms and you get to share whatever knowledge you have. It doesn't have to be craft related, but if you show them what you have, I've seen beekeepers go in, I've seen different kind of musicians go in, but they advertise. So that's an idea. This is a neat one. University Continuing Education Opportunities, or CE units. So the Virginia Commonwealth University, VCU, which is here in Richmond, Virginia, where I live, reached out to me for me to provide some scrapbooking classes for the staff. So these aren't for college credits, but they're for continuing educational opportunities. And I did classes with teachers that wanted to learn the basics with scrapbooking. So reach out to your local university, see if they have any kind of continuing ed opportunities. Another one is your online social media parties. We've all seen them. It's something relatively new within the last 3-4 years, but it's where you get to promote close to my heart's products and projects in a learning environment, but online from the comfort of your own home. And you can have a hostess, you can have giveaways during the party. So then we go into crops in your home. We go into crops in rented spaces. This is an opportunity for you to reach out to those that may be looking for a very small environment in which to create and learn. Open house events. These are something that is coming back, believe it or not. Post-COVID, people are so wanting to get out, congregate and gather and just hang out with one another. So open house events, put that at the top of your list. Card ministries, cards for veterans, cards for active duty, and cards for shut-ins. For this particular item, it's not necessarily the receiver. It's the person that is willing to make, the person that is willing to give of their time. If you're able to teach them a new technique or a new experience of card making that they've never received before or learned, you will have a phenomenal lead of a customer. Another one is classes at local craft stores. I did this bazillion years ago, but it's still an opportunity that is available today with your local craft stores. A lot of times privately owned, but it is an opportunity. Anytime you have the opportunity to do a make and take, you should be thinking, how can I gain customers from this make and take that may be free, maybe $1, maybe $2. Another idea is your church bazaars. Many times it is selling items that you made, but it is also an ample opportunity to gain new customers that may not even be at that particular church. It may be walker-bys or window shoppers, if you will. So never dismiss a church bazaar as a customer lead. Vendoring events, and there are so many different type of vendoring events, from small to large expos, but that is definitely an opportunity to find lots of new customers. Social media, we've mentioned a couple of times, but definitely have an active social media account that is shareable and that your current customers can share with others and that you can attract others through your algorithms. Another one is your gifts. Brag books you may give, albums you may give, wedding sign-in books you may give, displays and favors. These are opportunities for you to showcase and to show all that the creative juices that you have. In addition to that, life events. So creating a wedding album, creating a baby album, anniversary albums. And I do want to touch on funerals, because when a family has a funeral, oftentimes if they don't have a scrapbook, they're not going to be able to make one. But we can come and serve our customers by creating a memorial album for the funeral in lickety-split time for us, and you're able to serve the family in their time of loss and provide a very, very valuable album to remember. The last two items are sporting events and kindergartners. Let's go into sporting events. I could teach a whole class on sporting events, from association to elementary to middle school to high school, coaches' gifts, senior night, brag books. I've done it all. And each of these gifts provides leads from people. How did you do that? Never discount the opportunity to give back to that type of event. And then lastly, the kindergarten teachers. I save all of my scraps, little teeny 1-2 stickers that I didn't use, little teeny pieces of zip strips, put them in one of our pizza boxes, and I donate them to the kindergarten classes and to the preschools around the area. And these provide a wonderful opportunity for the kids just to play, and the teachers are who you may potentially grab as your future customers. Okay, so we're going to talk about different things every single month as you do these events. If it was a total failure, do it again. My motto is to try everything twice. I'll try and learn from the first and tweak it. If it was mediocre success, how can I improve it? Even if it was a great success, these are some of my points that I reflect back on, and I document what happened and how can I improve. 1, how can I engage more ladies? How can I get more hands-on? How can I do classes? And how can I do quickies? And that's what I call little 3-minute make and takes, something really small that is hands-on. How can I highlight our can't live without products? We have a bazillion products, but we also have a large assortment of things nobody else has. So how can I focus on those and promote those so that I gain the edge, because we have products that are on the edge? How can I meet more crafters? Is it demo boards? Is it samples? Is it signs? How can I gather more contact information? Is it emails? Is it followers to my page or my VIP group? Is it referrals? Is it signs with my VIP Facebook group and page? How can I make the buying process easier for them? Can I make pre-printed order forms? Can I include the shipping, handling, and tax so it's just a circle and quick and I don't have to do the math? Can I print my Venmo code so that people can just take their camera and scan my code for payment? How can I make the buying process faster? How can I send idea books home with these new customers for more leads as a thank you? How can I send 2 books home with somebody if they have a larger order, like let's say $75 or so? If they're purchasing that, chances are they have a friend at home that would benefit from a free catalog to get my name out there. And the newest challenge I have is with my VIPs. How can I still serve my VIPs when I see them face to face, teach them everything I know in bite-sized pieces, but refer them back to ordering themselves online so they get the credit? And lastly, doing all of these events and making all these tweaks and adjustments, how can I ultimately make more money? That's it. So as I finalize and wrap up, how can we serve our customers? How can we put ourselves out there to seek them and find them? We want to use everything Close to My Heart the corporate office puts out. We want to put our own little brand on it, our own little twist, our crops and our workshops, etc., to find new customers. Reminders. When we connect with these people, make sure you learn about them. Make sure you establish a relationship with them. And always leave a positive and contagious impression on them. Remember, water chestnuts, seek your customers, find your customers, and serve your customers. Take care, everybody. That's a wrap.
dancers. Our Zoom audience, also known as the Zoom dancers. And thank you so very much to Kathy AZ. That was incredible. You shared so many great tips for us all to take note of. Getting new people, keeping people engaged once you get them are such important things in building your Close to My Heart business. So thank you for that. Up next, we have Erin Jacobson. She is from Jamestown, California, here in the USA. She is a specialist, and she's going to be doing a creative session with Smarty Pants.
Hey guys, my name is Erin and I'm so excited to be here today and share some of this awesome new products from the core catalog with you today. We're going to be creating with the new paper collection called Smarty Pants. Let me hold it up for you. There we go. You can see it's like a really fun school themed paper collection. We'll take a closer look at it here in a minute. But if you're thinking, oh, my kids are already done with school, I've already scrapbooked those pictures, not to worry, because we're going to do some conventional and I'm going to share some non-conventional ideas for this paper collection. So let's move to the overhead camera and take a look. So you can see the strong school theme here. I love this composition notebook paper. Let's take a closer look. It's just really fun. This goes way back. And then we have the science themed paper here, and then fun paper airplanes. And I love the alpha zip strip at the top there in the rainbow colors. We have a lined notebook page, some cork board paper, and then this is charcoal with little white stars on there. And then classic graph paper with these fun crayons at the top. And then this pattern paper is really fun. I've got some fun projects with this one. I love these little potted plants, the coffee cup, lots of fun elements on that page. And then of course this lined notebook paper in rainbow colors and the same star paper in peach this time. Very fun. We can't forget about the pocket cards. I'm going to use a lot of these today. So we have both sizes, and then you can see they're oriented in both horizontal and vertical. And this is my favorite. How cute is that? It's like a miniature composition notebook. And then this one has Smarty Pants, Never Stop Learning, rainbow, art supplies here. Those are fun. Everybody's cool on the first day of school. Little lightning bolts, new pair of sneakers, picture perfect, and some fun scribbles and more art supplies on that one there. Work, learn, and grow. And then I love how we have two different color options. Currently reading, and love that. And then this one's really fun. And then we have just some different like journaling cards. A is for awesome. I love this one. I love you. Things I love. Super useful. Some little speech bubbles, crayons. I love that. C is for crayon. When I grow up, I want to be, and that would be cute for journaling. Hello world. And then just lots of fun ideas there. I'm going to be using a lot of those. So we're starting with our Versamat. What we're going to do is create a layout. I have a piece of sapphire paper. I'm using the lighter side, and then some of the nectarine. This piece is 6 by 11. Now we're going to add some character to these base layers. So I'm going to take a nail file, sand the edges real quick, go all the way around, giving that some character and some distressing. And then for the nectarine, we're going to do some lines with our embossing stylus. Now this is not new, but it is one of my favorite techniques. I have two different embossing stylus. I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And I want the lighter side to be the side on my project. So I'm putting that one down, and about every 1/4 inch, actually 1/2 inch, I am just running a line from the top to the bottom. I never get tired of this technique. It always amazes people, and it's a great way to showcase the white core of the Close to My Heart cardstock. So we're just finishing up here, and then we will turn it over and make the magic happen. So it looks good just like this with the textured lines, but I'm going to take my old sanding block here and just sand that super lightly so it's just hitting the raised edges. And it's like we have a pattern paper now with texture. So cool. I love this technique. Just to switch things up, you don't have to run the lines from top to bottom. You could go on a diagonal and that would look really neat as well. So I'm bringing in this pattern paper here. I have cut it to 9x8, and I do want to go ahead and add some sapphire ink to the edge. So I'll do that really quick. Now this is kind of reminds me of a word search. If you look at it long enough, you can pick out actual phrases in this paper. So I thought that was really fun. I'm using this layout to document a photo of my son. It's his actual school picture. So I'll bring that in here in just a second. And it is a 5x7 photo, and I want to add some of that candy apple red. So I've cut a mat slightly larger, and then I really want to use this mini composition book because it's just my favorite. I want to show you the stamp set that goes along with this collections. That pencil super cute. You can't spell awesome without me. My favorite subject there on the bottom, and you can check the different subjects. Really a cute stamp set. So I've selected some of the images, and I'll bring in some scraps of white daisy and a piece of nectarine. I'm just going to use black ink, and I will stamp out some of these images to use as embellishments on my layout. So this one here is like a journaling block. I know I'm going to get a ton of use out of this one. You can't ever have too many journaling blocks in scrapbooking, right? And then this cute little circle says a new day, a new adventure. And then we have our pencil, and it does say I'll always pencil you in. And I thought that's a cute little sentiment. These do come with thin cuts, not the journaling block, because that's super easy to cut out. It's just, 4 straight lines make a rectangle, and you don't need a thin cut for that one. But I'm securing those with a little post-it removable tape, and now we have our embellishments. Look how cute this little pencil would be just kind of set across our note paper there. So I know I want to use these elements, but first let's bring in this cute ruler from the sticker sheet, and I also have a zip strip with those fun letters on there in rainbow colors, and I cut a piece of the notebook paper, and I thought I would make kind of a shelf at the bottom of my photo just to kind of anchor it. So I'm going to experiment with different placement to see where I want each of my paper layers. Now I'm actually designing this as we go, so I'm going to end up moving things around just a little bit. Sometimes you have to put it together, stand back and look at it, and that one is not doing anything for the layout. And then I thought maybe this would look better on the side, and I like it. It actually draws that nectarine color across the layout and frames in the photo nicely. So I cut this down to the length of my photo, and we'll just use it as on the edge there. This little globe is from the sticker sheet, and you could also fussy cut them from the pattern paper as well. And then I love this star that says amazing. So we'll layer that over the top, and then I think I want this here with the pencil kind of running through it. I thought that looks super cute. I definitely want to use this zip strip here because I like how it adds all of the colors in from the paper pack. So I'm just kind of fussing and tweaking the elements around the page, and I thought I definitely want to bring in this graph paper and bring it almost all the way across because that definitely has a better balance to it. So before I adhere it down, I'm going to put a quick dovetail or fishtail, if you will, cut up from the center and then in from each corner, and you have a nice little banner on the end of your strip of paper. And we'll put that there. I decided to add these stars in as well, and I'm going to cut them at different lengths, so we'll kind of stagger the lengths there. We'll bring back in our little circular element here, and off camera I'll go ahead and get all those cut and adhered down. I like to add demellishment. I keep saying that word. It's not even a word. Demellishment. It's embellishment and dimension combined into one. But I put a little foam tape on the back of my pencil to add dimension, and I like the way that looks popped up a little bit. So I'm just going to tweak this. I want to use this composition notebook for my title element. So using the simple serif dies and the teeny tiny type, I am combining the dies with the word grade. So I lined this up already and practiced several times to make sure it was straight. And now I'll stamp that right under the 7th, and I love the way that says 7th grade. Now, these are fun new buttons, acrylic buttons, and if you look, they're thinner. I love how the acrylic is thinner than it used to be. So it doesn't add too much bulk to your layouts if you're worried about that. But I'm going to make kind of a little triangle of these buttons, and I will end up putting some thread through those later. So for those of you that can't stand naked buttons, don't worry. So we're gonna add this little cool sticker, and I'll layer the button over the top of that and maybe pop this up just a little bit so it sits over the top of the button a little bit more comfortably. And then I can add my journaling. I'm just journaling the who, what, and where. I'm using a .03 journaling pen. That's my favorite size for journaling. We'll go ahead and get that adhered down to the layout. So our first project is just about done. Now, if you didn't have a 5x7 or if you had multiple photos, you could do the same layout using two like 3.5x5s in horizontal view just to add some more pictures. But I'm really happy with the way this turned out, and I love that distressed, textured cardstock in the background. I hope you were inspired by this layout. I have several more projects I'm super excited about to share with you, so let's go ahead and take a look. Now for this layout, we have gone a completely different direction just by narrowing the color palette down to peach, charcoal, and capri. We've really changed the feel of this paper pack. So I was inspired by this pocket card. It has this fun little, the alphabet on here, but the I love you is highlighted. So I thought, oh, that's perfect. I'm going to document a picture of my husband and I. I've turned the photo black and white to complement and go along with the color palette. Instead of White Daisy, we've used the lined notebook paper in the background there just to add some interest. And I used the Capri ink to do a little soft ink blending at the top and bottom. And then we also have the Capri shimmer trim there. And I've created this little shaker element here. Now, these are fun. These are the new loose gems in lagoon color, and I know it's hard to appreciate on camera, but those are really pretty. So I thought a little shaker element would be fun on this layout. And we have also made our little, kind of another title element here. It says, my favorite subject is you. Now, how I created that is from the stamp set, my favorite subject, and then you can choose science, math, reading, social studies, art, English. So I masked it off and just used the my favorite subject. And then any stamp set from your stash that's a thank you stamp, you can find a U, and that's how I created that. We have the little stitched bracket there. So I thought that that was really fun way to kind of repurpose this stamp set. I've done a little sanding to distress the background of this charcoal cardstock, and then this is the Dina Wakley Gloss Spray in Ocean. Now, I don't spray it. I actually take the bottle, shake it up, I'll unscrew the lid, and then just tap, 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 tap to get the splatters to look like that, because when you spray it, it gives a completely different look. It's a neat look, but for this, I just wanted the splatters. So here we have a non-school themed look from the Smarty Pants paper pack. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few more. So for this layout, I wanted to document these photos of my son and his love for kind of fixing things. And that's what's going on in the photos. He has like a toy and it's broken, and rather than throwing it away, he's like, I'm going to see if I can fix it. So the You're Awesome title from the sticker sheet and this pocket card, which says, nailed it, yay, 100%, neat, cool. I thought they were very encouraging words, that go along with this story I'm telling. So we've used the graph paper in the background. I have a strip of sapphire and of course the star zip strip here. And then I've created the embellishments. This is stamped in candy apple red from the stamp set, and also the word wow on, I stamped it separately on with sapphire and then cut that out and put it on top. Brilliant is from the coordinating sticker sheet. And then I absolutely love these definitions. So this one says growth, the process of evolving into who you are becoming, striving to learn without fear, and mindset, the power of changing I can't to I can, overcoming the impossible. So very, very appropriate for what's going on in the photos and for the story that I'm trying to tell. Now, we've got some red in the title here, so I wanted to repeat that. I created a triangle with the red. It didn't take much. Like here, we just have a little pencil, but it was just enough to kind of complete that visual triangle and draw your eye around the layout. So another fun layout, perfect for, documenting my teenage son and not school themed. Now we have a double page layout here, and this one was inspired by not only the pocket card, but this title, Ready to Learn. This is from the coordinating sticker sheet, very school themed, but when we're learning, we can be learning anything. We can be learning about a new hobby or learning a new skill. So I wanted to document these pictures of my husband teaching our boys some good handyman skills. So they're always ready to learn, and they love helping their dad with projects like this. They were working on a new tack shed, and so they were building that and using the equipment and just having a good fun day. So I have used the Smarty Pants collection to create kind of a construction themed layout. This cork paper was perfect because it has that wood texture. So they're woodworking, and I love the way that that ties in. And the ruler here, this is from the coordinating sticker sheet, but to me, now it is a tape measure or like a yardstick, something you would use when you're working on a construction project. We have the pocket card, Work, Learn, and Grow, and I thought that that was perfect as an element on the page. And then this is also a pocket card. I've cut it in half and used it to kind of, frame this photo here and just add some color and interest to the layout. This is from that same sticker that says Teach, Love, Inspire. And so I had the word inspire left over, and I thought that's going to work well for this layout because, my husband is inspiring the boys and teaching them. So I like the way that ties in. And then you need pencils, of course, when you are, making marks on the wood. So I thought a couple pencils, I just tucked them in far enough to cover up the sentiment on the pencils. And then this is from the sticker sheet, Every Day Learn Something New. And so I thought that that was fun. And we've created a tag just to kind of pop our embellishments. This is from the Tabs and Tags thin cuts there. And I've cut that in sapphire. And I fussy cut this little coffee cup because I just thought it was fun. Now this is the smallest of this stitch square, and it reminded me of like a construction sign. So I put that with a little wooden arrow just to add some texture. I put several wooden arrows on here. And this is another use of that stamp set, A New Day, A New Adventure. And we've added just a little bit of that composition notebook to add some interest with that pattern paper there. And then this definition says, Teacher, a person who leaves a lifelong impression on your heart. And I thought that was really perfect for these photos of my boys working with their dad. So definitely another non-school idea for this paper pack. Okay, let's check out another project. Okay, another double page layout here. So this one was completely inspired by this sticker, Teach, Love, Inspire. And when I read that, I thought, oh, that is so perfect for what we as makers do. We teach with a product we love to inspire others. So I immediately thought about these photos of myself kind of teaching some stamping techniques to some friends. And then afterwards we made a project. So I was like, oh, this is going to be perfect for these pictures. And again, we've pared it down to the peach, the charcoal, and the capri to give them a softer look. So I've highlighted the capri color. I love the shimmer trim. And then we've kind of layered up these paper flowers here. Now this is the 3D flower, which is expiring or retiring, I should say. But we have the awesome flower market cartridge, so you can always cut flowers. And then I've carried that capri color up to the top using the tags from the Tags and Tabs thin cuts and added some ribbon. And then of course we have the white buttons that I've sewed on with some thread that kind of matches the capri color. And then we have the sticker or the scissors from the sticker sheet. There is also one on the coordinating stamp set, so I know scissors are going to come in handy quite a bit. Now these definitions, again, it says teacher, but it's a different definition this time. It says a multitasking educational rock star who lives to inspire and loves to encourage. So I know that to be true about many, many makers. And then creativity, when imagination has no limits, the secret behind all great minds. So those are fun. Now the camera I just kind of pulled from my stash, and it's a little stamped image I popped up there because to me that goes with scrapbooking. You can never have too many camera icons, right? And then the close to my heart is a retired stamp, but you can spell that out or maybe cut CTMH with die cut letters or something like that. That would be a really good idea. So this is a fun layout. I added some splatter just to kind of carry your eye through the layout. We have this little triangle of the shimmer brush in Sapphire. So another fun idea that's non-school themed. Are you guys loving the versatility of this paper pack? So I know you guys want to see some cards. Now remember this pattern paper, I fussy cut a ton of images from this pattern paper, and you'll see how I use them to create some fun cards. So go ahead and set that to the side. And for my first card, we use the Just a Happy Note. This is from the coordinating stamp set. I've cut a circle from one of the patterned note papers, and then fussy cut the plants and the hearts to create this really cute note card. I love the cork background there, and I just think that looks really fun matted on the sapphire there. So that's a really cute card. And then again, fussy cutting, I created this Best Teacher Ever. So we used the medium stitched rectangle and cut another little rectangle from that patterned note paper. We have our little plant. I fussy cut the teacher's gonna teach, and then we just tucked a pencil behind there to add a little pop of color. And then again, the Best Teacher Ever is fussy cut from this paper here. So I thought that was a really fun card. I think any teacher would absolutely love to receive. Now this card is actually not fussy cut. I went ahead and used stickers from the sticker sheet. So super duper and you nailed it. And the stickers kind of dictated my color palette here. I've matted it on Capri, and then we have cut that peach paper with the little stars on the background, and then cut pennants or triangles here from the Capri glitter paper. I've added a few of the liquid pearls to kind of just finish that banner off, and this would be a great card for anyone that accomplished something and you want to congratulate them. Like super duper, you nailed it. Kind of like a good job type card. So what did you guys think? There's a ton of versatility, right? At first you might be thinking school themed, but not so. You know, if you just kind of pair different papers and change things up, you can really do so much more with this paper collection. So I even have more ideas to share with you, but I've got to stick to my timeline because we have so much more to see during this convention. So I do want to end with a big thank you to everyone at Close to My Heart who has made this convention possible and for giving me the opportunity to come and share with you guys. This was a lot of fun, and I hope you were inspired. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye.
Erin, thank you so very much for sharing your incredible creativity with us. It was really so inspiring to see not only what you created with the theme we thought we were all going to see with Smarty Pants, but all of the things that you created that were not school themed at all. It was really remarkable. Thank you so very much. And up next, we have Lisa Stenz, who's a specialist from Temecula, California, and she will be sharing a creative session with slimline cards.
Hey everyone, I'm Lisa Stenz from Temecula, California, and I have been with Close to My Heart for 16 years, and I was really excited when Jill from the home office asked me to teach a class on slimline cards for virtual convention this year. As you know, slimline cards are pretty trendy right now, and they have quickly become one of my personal favorite types of cards to create. So I have all kinds of cards to share with you today, and some of them use the new slimline thin cuts, which are lots of fun. And I'm going to share some ideas on how to use traditional or standard size thin cuts and embossing folders on your slimline cards as well. I also have created a design space file for a slimline envelope so that you can use any pattern paper to die cut a matching envelope for your cards, and I will share that with you as well. And if you know me at all, you know how much I absolutely love creating boxes. So I have designed a slimline card box where you can store your slimline cards and envelopes. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to make those. And then I will have a download for you that includes both the link to the design space file for the envelope and step-by-step instructions and a cutting guide for the box. So let's go ahead and get started and have some fun. As you might be aware, Close to My Heart sells these slimline bulk cards in a pack of 20, and the size, once they're folded down, is 3.5 by 8.5, and you can use these either vertically or horizontally. My first card is a horizontal card, and to create this card I cut some flowers using images from both the Flower Market and Happiness Lives Here Cricut collections. And the striped paper is from the beautiful new rose gold foil pattern paper packet. The sentiment comes from this beautiful new stamp set. And in the center of some of the flowers, I colored the wild berry dots with the dark side of the dark red shades tri-blend marker. My next card is a vertical card, and I created this card to be a shaker card. I started out with a piece of watercolor paper and used abandoned coral and tattered rose distress oxide inks to color and blend it. The letters, the LOVE, were die cut from some of the new black cardstock with the solid core, and I used the classic alphabet thin cuts to cut those out. And then I wanted to turn it into a shaker card, so I used the beautiful new Hearts Slimline Thin Cuts die, and I die cut the inked background using this die. I used 2 layers of 3D foam tape around the edges so that I could turn this into a shaker card, and I used some clear loose gems on the inside. Now these clear loose gems are a little bit thicker than the standard sequins or beads that we carry, so the double layer really helped. And then I used one of the die cut hearts in the center of the O. The new Heart Slimline Thin Cuts really made this card special. The next 2 cards that I created were both created in Cricut Design Space, and I used the welding and slicing tools along with images from the Everyday Moments collection and the Cricut Sans font to create these 2 cards. And the nice thing is that with this shape of cards, with the long skinny cards like this, you can use words and you can use names. This one is created with my daughter's name, and you can really personalize your cards. And I just use the Twinkle Toes and Dreamy holographic paper for these and the bright bitty beads on the inside. This next card was really fun because I used all the new shimmer trim colors for the background, which made it nice and easy and very colorful. And I used the new stamp set where you can layer your cake images as tall as you want. So it's perfect for slimline cards because you can make the cake as tall or as short as you like. And I just outlined it with some black cardstock and made it as tall as I wanted to. And it was just a fun, simple card, but very colorful. And here are a couple of still shots so you can get a better look at this card. This next card is one of my favorites. I love how the background turned out, and I love the stamp set that I used. This new stamp set has a set of 3 macarons that are stacked on top of each other, and so I just stamped it twice on some scrap cardstock and some intense black ink and colored them in with various tri-blend markers, and then I cut out the bottom portion of the bottom of one of the stacks of macarons to stack it on top of each other so that it looks like it is all one stack. And for the background, I used the smooshing technique using chipped sapphire, seedless preserves, and pinked raspberry distress oxide inks. I put them on my craft mat, spritzed them with some water, and then smooshed my cardstock on top. This next card is another fun one where I used another of the new Thin Cuts dies. On this one I used the Dots Slimline Thin Cuts for the background, and I die cut it from a piece of the new Mulberry glitter paper. When you die cut something using this new thin cuts die, it's a good idea to save all the little pieces for later on because you can use them on the inside of your shaker cards. I saved all of the little glitter pieces so I can use it on another card. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to get them out, but if you have a toothbrush or even your little piercing tool, you can easily get the circles out. I die cut the flowers and the leaves on my Cricut machine, and in the center of these flowers I used the new Mulberry loose gems, and I put them in a pile in the center, and then I squeezed some liquid glass on top, and it kind of bunched them together, and it made a really pretty center to these flowers. And the sentiment on this card is from the September stamp of the month called Grateful for This Life, and this stamp set is perfect for slimline cards because of the long, thin sentiments. I love how this card turned out because I was able to coordinate the mulberry colors with the glitter paper, the cardstock, and the loose gems in the center of the flowers. Here's another example of using the dot slimline thin cuts in the background of a card. On this one I used it on the watercolor cardstock where I had sponged some ink. And then on top of it, I used 3 of the scalloped squares that come in the Square Windows Slimline Thin Cuts dies. So as you can see, you get 3 of the small ones on the inside, and then you get the full long slimline piece as well. So I cut this 3 times, and it's nice that it comes with 3 so you can do it all in one pass. And then I added some little embellishments that I created. The flower was cut from some White Daisy cardstock on my Cricut machine. The little plant came from the Smarty Pants stickers. And the butterfly comes from the Stitch Together collection, and it was die cut from a piece of cardstock and also from a piece of vellum that I layered on top of each other. And then I sponged the top layer of the butterfly with some seedless preserves and peacock feathers Distress Oxide inks to match the background. This next card uses the other portion of the Square Windows Slimline Thin Cuts to create a fun shaker card. I used the outer portion of the thin cuts to die cut a piece of White Daisy cardstock to create the top portion of the card. Then I used the Slimline Shaker window foam and acetate pieces to create the shaker portion. And as you can see, they fit perfectly with the Slimline cards. The foam piece has a perfect border, and then it has these little thin strips that fit perfectly in between the openings on the card. This way you can put different sequins or beads or whatever you want in each section of the card. I used 2 different stamp sets on this card. I used these borders, and I'm sorry that I don't have the names of the stamp sets. I didn't get the names when I got the prototypes, but these borders are beautiful, and I used the little cupcake border for the bottom of the 2 outside sections of the cards, and I colored them in with some markers. And then I used the sentiment on the inside, which came from the stamp set with the macarons. And we have another wonderful new slimline thin cut that's called Circle Windows. It's similar to the square windows, but this one has circles, and the inside actually has stitched circles instead of the scallop circles like the square one did. So I just used the outer portion of the thin cuts on this card to create another shaker card. And on this one, I used the mulberry and clear loose gems on the inside, which are the same gems that I used on that Thankful card to hold them together with the liquid glass for the center of the flowers. But on this card, I'm leaving them loose so that they can be the shaker portion on the inside. And then these little flowers came from that stamp set that I used on the very first card, as you can see here. And then I just attached them to each of the circle openings in the corners with some 3D foam tape. And I used the Slimline Shaker window foam and acetate for this card as well. And those strips that we put in between the last card, in between the squares, fit perfectly as well on the circles. So if I wanted to, I could put different things in each of the circles. And then the Thinking of You was stamped on the acetate with some Versamark ink and then embossed with some white embossing powder. This next card was created with the floral alphabet stamp set, but you can actually use any alphabet stamp set. So one of the things that I mentioned earlier in this video is that with slimline cards, you can really create whatever sentiment you want, and you can do names, you can do words because they're so long. The background paper is from the Love Story Ink paper packet, and the stamp set of the flowers is from the Isabella Scrapbooking stamp set. I also, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, created a design space file with an envelope that you can use to die cut any pattern paper to match your cards. You should be able to find the file with the link to that design space file and instructions on how to make the envelopes in the file section in this group. Here's a little tutorial on how to put these envelopes together. So this was die cut using the design space file that I created, and you just want to fold on the score lines, and then you're going to want to add some adhesive to the outer edge of the smaller panel on the right side. So just add a little bit of adhesive there, fold in the larger side, and then fold in the smaller side right on top of it, and it should line up. You should see a little V on the top if it lines up perfectly, which it should. And then you're going to add a little bit of adhesive to that smaller flap on the bottom, fold that up, press down, and that will create your envelope. After you slip your card inside, you can seal that top flap any way you like. Now I'm going to show you how to use a standard size embossing folder on slimline cards. As you can tell, the slimline cards are longer than the standard size embossing folder, so they don't go all the way to the bottom. So there's 3 different options that you can do. There's probably more, but these are the 3 that I came up with. You can emboss the top portion of the cardstock like I did here, and that just leaves you with a line kind of on the bottom where it stops. So I went ahead and did this, stamped the sentiment on the bottom, and then used some ribbon to cover up that line. And as you can tell, I actually used the back side of the embossed image. I used the debossed side. This particular image actually looks good on either side. Another way that you can use these embossing folders is to do them in 2 sections. On this card, I really wanted the stitched border all the way around, so what I did was I used the Stitched Rectangles Thin Cuts die, and I cut 2 of the middle-sized rectangles. And then I ran them both through my embossing machine with the embossing folder, and I adhered one to the top and one to the bottom. So as you can see, by doing that, there is a line that goes all the way across the center. So there's a couple of different ways that you can cover up that line. On this card, I decided to use this wreath and then a plain piece of cardstock underneath it to cover up that line. You can use another piece of cardstock with a sentiment or some ribbon or anything you want to cover that line up. On this card, I did something similar, but instead of using the thin cuts to create 2 rectangles, I just cut different sized rectangles and ran them both through my embossing machine with the embossing folder, and I separated them and stamped the sentiment in the middle. And then I had the little die cut flowers go up on the left side. So as you can see, there's different ways that you can use these die cuts and these embossing folders that are really meant for traditional size cards on the slimline card size. Here's a few still shots of these 3 cards so you can get a better idea of what they look like up close. And now one of my favorite things, if you guys know me at all, you know how much I love making boxes. So I created this box to hold the slimline cards and envelopes, and I'm going to give you instructions on how to make a box like this yourself. I'll show you step by step how to create them in a minute, but you can also find a download in the file section of the Facebook group with instructions and a cutting guide. You'll want to start off with a piece of cardstock that measures 11 7/8 by 6 7/8. And then you're going to want to score it at 3/4 of an inch and 1.5 inches on all 4 sides. I'm using a piece of the new solid core black cardstock for the base of my box. This cardstock is beautiful for making boxes, actually anything that you fold, because the core is solid. It's not white on the inside, so when you fold it, you won't see the white. And it's nice and thick. The next thing we're going to do is cut a little slit on each of the 4 sides. So you're going to cut it on the score line on the inner score line on both ends, just like I'm showing you here. Then we're going to fold it on each of the score lines, and if you have a bone folder or something that you can burnish it with, you're going to want to use that to get nice crisp lines, especially if you're using this new black cardstock, because it's extra thick and you want to make sure that you burnish each of these score lines really, really well. Then we're going to add some adhesive to the outer edges of the 11 and 7/8 sides of the cardstock and fold it down to create a lip that's going to be the sides of the base of the box. We have this new adhesive tape that works wonderfully because it's nice and strong, and you can add it to the sides of the box without revealing the adhesive quite yet. So you can add all of your adhesive and then remove the strips as needed. So I'm just using a piercing tool to reveal the adhesive. Then we're going to fold down to create that lip and make sure that it's on there nice and tight. Then we're going to fold down each of the corners like I'm doing here. Now each of these corners is going to be extra thick because there's 2 layers of cardstock adhered together. So go ahead and fold them down and just make sure that the creases are nice and crisp. Then we're going to add adhesive to these outside flaps. And I'm adding adhesive to the top and to the bottom just to make sure that the box stays closed. After I add the adhesive to both sides of the box and I reveal the sticky portion of it, I'm going to fold in both of those little flaps and then fold over that flap on top to create the side of the box. And that completes the base of the box. To create the top of the box, you're going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 9 1/8 by 8 3/4 and score it at 4 inches and 4 3/4 inches. Then fold it on those score lines and be sure to use your bone folder to make those folds nice and crisp. Then you're going to wrap this cardstock around the box base, making sure to adhere it to only one side. So you can add your adhesive to the bottom of the box or to one side of the wrap. Then once your box is complete, you can embellish it any way you like. I used the Floral Borders and Sentiment stamp set in addition to the September stamp of the month called Grateful for This Life to embellish my box. And then I made some coordinating cards to go inside. Here's a couple of still shots for you so you can get a better look. Here is a quick overview of all the cards that I shared with you today. I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my creations and that you found some inspiration to create your own slimline cards. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the comments below and I will do my very best to answer each one of them. I will warn you, I am out of town during convention week, but I plan to pop in as often as I can. So if I don't answer your questions right away, I promise you that I will get to them. And I just hope you have fun. The slimline thin cuts, the new ones, are so much fun and I can't wait to see what you guys create yourselves. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.
Wow, Lisa, what incredible, gorgeous art you've shared with everyone. I've seen you in the comments too, so thank you for joining us even though you're out of town. You are beyond talented. All of our maker presentations have been just so inspiring in every way. We are so grateful and happy that you were willing to share with everyone. Now remember, tomorrow we're going to have even more maker presentations, so way more inspiration coming your way. Right now, I'm getting ready to do more recognitions. I love, love, love this part of our convention. So let's go ahead and see what we're recognizing right now. We have the top team builder, so exciting. And of course, again, this is the criteria for this award. You have to be a convention attendee. Of course, it's the United States right now, and it's April 1st through June 30th, and any ties go in order of who achieved it first. Let's see who is in our 10th place. In 10th place, as a top team builder, we have Chris Keys, a premier advocate from Sandy, Utah, with 2 new team members. Yay, yay, thank you. Thanks, my crew still do the clappers, thank you. And in 9th place, Cheryl Schultz, influencer from Fullerton, California, with 2 new team members. Golden claps for you. Now in 8th place, we have Dawn Leader, a maker in Winnemucca, Nevada, with 2 new team members. Okay, in 7th place, Cheryl Levinson, a premier influencer in Boynton Beach, Florida, with 2 new team members. Congratulations, beautiful. In 6th place, Gina Brandstetter, a specialist from, I don't know how to say that, but she's from Tennessee, and she has 2, say it again?
Murfreesboro.
Oh, Murfreesboro. That makes so much sense. Okay, 2 new team members. Way to go, Gina. Okay, now in 5th place, we have Killy Kerwin, a specialist from Verona, Wisconsin, with 3 new team members. Yay! We're all like waiting. Sorry, that was my fault. Yay, Keely. All right, in 4th place, Julie Scott, an influencer from Salt Lake, Utah, with 3 new team members. Woo-hoo! Okay, now in 3rd place, we have Kelly Baxter Fitzgerald, a founder from Phillips, South Dakota, and also one of our Operation Smile auctioneers, with 3 new team members. Yay, Kelly! Okay, now in 2nd place, Jolene Moen, woohoo! An innovator from Minneapolis, Minnesota, with 4 new team members. Okay, now we are ready. Are you ready? 1st place, Laura Wall, a specialist from Chester, Virginia, with 7 new team members. Congratulations, Laura! That one didn't go quite as big, did it? Well, I was so happy to interview Laura last week, and boy, was she so excited about achieving this 1st place spot. Let's hear from Laura.
All right, we are to our #1 spot, and I am so excited to speak a little bit to Laura Wall, who is in Virginia right now. Hi, Laura.
Hi, how are you?
Congratulations. #1 spot in team building in the last quarter. That is phenomenal. What a number. Incredible. How did you make it happen, Laura? Especially right now where the world's a little bit in chaos.
Well, I tell you, it was Facebook. It was all Facebook. I don't do anything but Facebook. I don't Instagram. I don't do all the rest. But there's a little pocket in your brain, right? You know that little pocket in your brain where you remember where you put your reading glasses? I emptied that pocket out. So I don't know where my reading glasses are ever, but I put every customer that had shown an interest somewhere goes in that little pocket. And so when y'all hit with that, I had already gotten a few just out of networking. But then when y'all put that special out about convention, I was like, you know what? I too want to get together with my friends. And so I offered the people that I already had in the back of my head. I said, we're going to do this. We're going to do this convention together. Everybody bring a meal. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm getting a big TV so we can have Monica on the big screen. And so that was it. And so I had two of my best customers join right away and I thought, okay, 2, I need 5 to get my convention. Like that was my goal. And so I just started, putting it in my emails, putting it in my Facebook. I just started spreading the word. But in it, the one thing that I realized, because I just had a new person sign up yesterday as well. So I've got one more than what we had when you gave me this awesome award. But what I really focused on is the fact that you can't lose. If you become a maker and it's not for you and you don't love it, you'll drop down to enthusiast. You still get all the maker benefits, but you don't blah, blah, blah. But if you don't still love that, then you're going to drop back down to a VIP customer. So you're not losing anything, so that was how I framed it. Like right now, because of all of the benefits that you're going to get, it's a no brainer. And so ones that I did not expect, because I know my goal was 5 and I ended up with 6 just last month, which I was not expecting at all. But it was all those seeds that I had planted and then put it out there in the universe, I suppose. They just all came along, and I was as
I
shocked
love
as
it.
you were, because like I said, my goal was 5 just to get convention. And I mean, in my 10 years being a consultant, I've probably gotten 10 people the entire 10 years, and now like this many this quick. So
Wow, you made it happen. I love it. And you're right. It is all just a win every which way you look at it. I love that that's how you positioned it. Well, Laura, it has been so fun to talk to you and to hear about how you made this happen for yourself and the fact that you can just, it's a mindset. And I love that little pocket. I'm going to remember about that pocket. So I'll put those people in there too. But thank you so much, Laura. Congratulations. #1 in the US for the last quarter. Phenomenal work. And how many of your team members are together for convention?
there will be 8 of us together.
That's
Okay,
exciting.
wait. So I didn't get this part of the I'm the for the whole company in the last quarter?
For the US, it's for the US.
For the US,
Yes.
not just for specialists, for
It's actually probably the whole company, but because convention recognition is just for the US, I'm like 99.9% sure it is for the entire company.
Okay, so my mind is blown. Where's my little mind blown emoji? It's over there. I thought it was like just for my pocket of people. I didn't know it was for the whole close
The
to my heart.
entire close to my heart.
Oh my
company.
gosh. I did not know that. Yay!
So happy for you. We
I'm
celebrate
shocked.
you. Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
All right, Laura Wall, everyone. Can't wait to hear more from you, Laura. And now we're on to our next segment. Woohoo! Yay, Laura.
Bye.
Wow, wasn't that so fun? I loved it, especially when she realized, wait a minute, what are you saying? Not just for my title. No, Laura, for all of the United States in this category. Well, I went back because I told you I was 99.9% sure. Well, of course, wouldn't you know it, that 0.1%, you're actually tied, but it is for the entire company in all global markets. So we still congratulate you. It is an amazing accomplishment. And even with that tie in the whole entire company, the next level down was 4. So you and our maker in Japan brought in 7 people within that last quarter. So that's pretty phenomenal. So congratulations again. And we are so, so happy with how day 2 has come together. We hope you have learned and created along with us. Can you believe it? We're now through 2 full days of our virtual convention. Let me just tell you before I say goodbye, and I want you to know we are still doing our Operation Smile auction. We are still close to the $15,000 mark. Please keep putting your bids in there. There's so much beautiful art, so much heart that's been given in that art. So we hope that you can see the value of putting your bid in for that auction. We also have Sticky Boy and Sticky Girl as an option, and with a $500 donation in your market, you will receive that after August 15th. Okay, I think, are there any other things? Let's see, how many bingo moments did you find so far? Yeah, let us know in the comments if you are playing bingo and if you found some more spots. We'd love to know. Okay, thank you all for joining us again on the second day. Oh, don't forget, I wanted to tell you, we close the auction tomorrow at 3:30. I think I told you 3 accidentally. In my mind, I heard 3:30, but 3:30 tomorrow Mountain Time. So keep going on to ClickBid and seeing where those bids are at, and if you could win a beautiful piece of art. Okay, thanks so much. We will see you again on day 3 tomorrow. So much more to come. Have so much fun, everyone. Thank you so much. We love you. Stay safe. Bye.